Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is January 20th, 2020, a Monday evening time. Again, want to thank everyone who has supported the GoFundMe. Haven't quite hit the 2,000 mark, but I've already booked the flight. Again, if you haven't heard me say this already, I will be touching down in New Orleans the evening of January 29th. Had to negotiate with Sweet Lady on the date. She was okay with me leaving that date. And because I'll get in so late, I'll probably start the ground campaign the next day, January 30th, bright and early. I'll be there for a week. Again, I'm going to be in Louisiana, between New Orleans and Baton Rouge, in the city, at the college campus, educating about all of the very twisted, dark, and truly demonic rituals that have gone on in that state that are all synced up with the college championship they just won January 13th. And also going to talk about things such as why they got Zion Williamson on the anniversary of the establishment of Zionist Israel, among other topics that are important to that city, including Katrina. And going to record it all. And while I'm there, I'll be uploading videos. So you'll get, you'll be in the loop. But when I come back, I want to try to make it into a nice documentary, something that somebody would sit down and watch and be inspired by. Try to make a video project better than I've ever done to date. So, I was just thinking, what if we could get Larry Johnson, who's given a shout out to Gematria, who's tweeting day and night about rig sports, ritual murder, Gematria. I mean, Larry Johnson's become the celebrity doing essentially what I'm doing. But of course, he's a celebrity, so he gets way more attention, and that's great. Now, that said, I am a little bit curious. I'm grateful for what Larry Johnson's doing. A lot of you are yelling and screaming at me that he's controlled opposition. But I mean, even if he is, if it's like some sort of experiment, I don't care, man. If we get if 10,000 people can tweet at him to join in on this cause, maybe he'd be willing. I mean, this is what he's doing day and night. Larry Johnson's Twitter is fully dedicated to exposing rig sports, ritual murder, Gematria. I mean, so I'm just imagining if he gets 10,000 tweets saying, "Hey, join Zachary K. Hubbard at LSU and in New Orleans, educating the masses about rig sports." I mean, I do realize that in all likelihood he's probably not going to come. But hey, you don't know unless you try. And I would say the odds of it happening would tremendously increase if he got blasted with a bunch of tweets, since that's where he's at. And to tweet Larry Johnson, you have to do the @2LarryJohnson7. His jersey number was 27 when he played for the Kansas City Chiefs. And, just in case Larry sees this video, for whatever reason, Larry won't talk to me. I've tweeted him so many times to try to get him on the radio show and to talk about this. It seems that he's definitely aware, because, he gave a shout-out months ago to how much he appreciates the people on YouTube making Gematria videos. So, how many? That's a handful of people right there. And out of that handful, I probably make up 90% of the posts out of the group. But anyway, if we could get this man to help us out, just imagine. Well, it's fun. It is the United States of amnesia. I wonder how many college kids would recognize Larry Johnson, since it's been probably a decade since he dominated the NFL. But he was a big star when he was in the league. Anyway, if Larry Johnson's out pounding the pavement next to me, I know this thing's going way further. So anyway, let's just go over some things. I'm going to talk about Larry Johnson, but again, we're out pounding the pavement. These are the things we can show people. And I'm kind of slapping myself around just going back over these older posts. This is from September 26, 2019, when they announced the halftime performers. And every year there's a major ritual with when they announce the halftime performers and the people they pick in light of the Super Bowl. So the day they did this, September 26, 19, was a date with 54 numerology. And again, these were the halftime announcers for Super Bowl 54. And Shakira, she's going to turn 43 years old February 2nd, 2020, which is the day of the Super Bowl, the day of her performance. Football equals 43, so does Masonic, so does Yale. Again, American football is credited to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and the man Walter Camp, who went to Yale and was likely a member of Skull and Bones. But look at what we pointed out when Shakira was named and it was her birthday. Again, it was Shakira and J-Lo, but Shakira was more interesting because the Super Bowl is the day of her birthday. And right away I was like, man, every number in her name connects to the Kansas City Chiefs. And we were already looking at the Chiefs because, again, ESPN called it the year of the black quarterback, and they had Patrick Mahomes on the front. And plus Chiefs were front runners. I mean, probably half the people in the country thought the Chiefs would be in it for the AFC when the season began, and of course they are. But the Gematria of Shakira had the 67, 31, 122, 50. And just look, Kansas City's 122 and 67, like Shakira. Chiefs is 50 and 31. So her name has all the values of Kansas City Chiefs. And then we also pointed out then that, San Francisco had the 122-50. Again, Super Bowl 54 is the 50th of the modern era. And, man, it was just right there. It was all in Shakira's name, who will turn 43 the day of the Super Bowl. Again, it's the Joe Montana Bowl. Joe Montana equals 54. He played for the Chiefs and the Niners. And, again, here's that headline, Year of the Blank QB from ESPN. They coded, they make the game exciting, which equals 112. Chiefs also has the gematria of 112, like Super Bowl. And, again, I mean, these are the kind of things you could educate people about. There's a lot of stuff to share on this subject, and there's just an overwhelming amount of evidence that can be persuasive to open-minded and intelligent people. But I do got to admit, for all of you who are saying that Larry Johnson's controlled opposition, I'm not going to accuse him because I don't know. But I did wonder about this at the start of the NFL season, just before the regular season began. He got a lot of attention for the media for this tweet. And he's been at it ever since. I mean, he's been nonstop since August 29th, 2019. But on this day, he typed, "There is an effeminate agenda going on amongst the NBA and NFL elite, peddled by high-ranking Masons handlers to indoctrinate the heterosexual sports world without them knowing, for the buying power of the LGBTQ community. But we're not ready to have that conversation yet." So anyway, I thought it was strange for a couple reasons, the date of this tweet. What I noticed is that Larry Johnson's birthday is November 19th, and he made that tweet August 29th, and I saw that it was 82 days from his birthday, and again, the media emphasized a feminine agenda, which equals 82, so I was like, what are the odds of this? And remember, Vesica Piscis sums to 82, which is the shape of the football, from sacred geometry, which is associated with the feminine. So I was like, man, is this a coincidence? I mean, I just don't know what to think here. And then the other thing I started thinking about is Larry Johnson, the NBA player, not to be confused with the NFL player who's doing the tweeting. This is Larry Johnson from the NBA, who was popular before Larry Johnson in the NFL. But he used to play that character Grandmama, so a man dressing as a woman. And Larry Johnson, the other Larry Johnson's talking about this effeminate agenda. And we pointed out at the beginning of the year, we're like, look at Grandmama, it equals 54, like how it's going to be Super Bowl 54 this year, and the Chiefs are front runners. Now the Chiefs are in Super Bowl 54. And the other thing that was weird is August 29th is the 241st day of the year, leaving 124 days remaining. And Kansas City, Missouri, where the Chiefs are from, who Larry Johnson played for, equals 241 and 124. And you might recall what happened that same day, that very same day that Larry Johnson put out this tweet. Prince, who's associated with Super Bowls, decoded plenty of Super Bowl rituals with Prince. His half-brother died was 83 days later. Murder's 83. His brother's name was Nelson, 83. As we know, football's also 83. Michael Jackson, that's his birthday. Michael Jackson's 83. Michael Jackson's also 124, born on the day, leaving 124 days left in the year. Prince and Michael, a lot of parallels, both born in 58. Music legends. And again, he died in Kansas City, Missouri on the most perfect day. And yeah, I just remember all this, how this happened, and then Larry Johnson got the news out of, the Kansas City, Missouri Star, and I was like, what is going on? This is so weird. What is all this about? Is it all for the Chiefs? And anyway, again, Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. Now, again, all year, Larry Johnson's been tweeting away. He's been making a lot of mainstream headlines for the things he's written. Here's one from December 4th, Jay-Z's birthday. And remember, Larry Johnson did used to be signed with Jay-Z, you know, doing advertisements for him. But former NFLer Larry Johnson accuses Freemason Dwayne Wade of sacrificing his son for the doctrines of demons. And Jay-Z is a Freemason. I mean, you can look up the images of Jay-Z and his, you know, Masonic apron with his bow tie on in the lodge. Those images are out there. And you just gotta, I mean, it's just strange that this is one of the days that Larry Johnson got a lot of headlines. The doctrines of demons equals 96 like Freemason, the two things that are emphasized in this headline. And, again, a lot of rituals on that date. It's the date Fred Hampton was murdered. Again, Jay-Z's birthday. And then, you know, I mean, I just don't know what to think. I'm so torn on this because he's been doing tweets like this. When you come out of this world as God intended and you see the irrefutable evidence of Gematria, I mean, what other celebrities putting out tweets like this? Jeff Young, shout out to Jeff Young. But I mean, that's like it. There's no one else. When you come out of this world as God intended, you see the irrefutable evidence of Gematria with these games. The cute little psyop just keep getting funnier and funnier. And that is true. So I'm just saying, Larry, man, I don't get it. I've reached out to you so many times. You've essentially given me a shout out on your YouTube video. You're putting out this knowledge. Come on, man. The battle will not be won on Twitter. Let's go out and make the documentary at LSU in New Orleans. Pretty star power behind it. And yours truly is no slum. Now we're going somewhere. I was going to show this clip, but then I clicked on it, and now the video's private. Why did they make this video private? But that's the video where he gave the shout out to Gematria. And by the way, Larry's a little bit stumbled on how the Packers didn't make the Super Bowl. Again, it turns out it was the Joe Montana Bowl. And like he said, when you know Gematria, you see through the riddles. This year is all about Joe Montana. They used to call him Joe Cool 33, Super Bowl on the 33rd day of the year. But better yet, Joe Montana's 54 at Super Bowl 54. With the Niners, he won 100 games. It's the 100th NFL season. Of course, he played for the Niners and the Chiefs. Again, you guys might have saw me do this earlier. There's a whole lot more to it. The Super Bowl's 131 days from his birthday, Joe Montana. Again, his birthday is June 11th, like 116. 116 points scored in the conference championships. But again, 131 days from his birthday, Super Bowl championship. When you write out 57 as a word, it's 131. Like how his Niners beat the Packers with 57 combined points, a span of 57 days from their regular season match, where the Niners also beat the Packers with 37 points. And just again and again, season after season, sport after sport, we saw these same numbers come together in championships. And let us not forget Super Bowl 19. Like this was the 2019 season. 49ers beat Miami. Miami hosts Super Bowl 54 this year. Niners beat Miami 38-16, 54 points. It was written all this time. And that's why when Larry Johnson, like he says, I don't know if it was rigged when I was a player. Oh, Larry, it's been rigged since the very beginning. You know Broadway Joe and what he said. It's been fixed since the beginning. And again, I won't be redundant. I've already done like 2 videos on this, but it's the first all-red Super Bowl 54 and a million other things. San Francisco and Chiefs 50, 50th Super Bowl of the modern era, 50 years since the Chiefs won the Super Bowl over the Vikings in Super Bowl 4. 49ers used to be 5-0 in Super Bowls before they lost in the Harbaugh Bowl. That was Super Bowl 47. John Harbaugh won. John equals 47. He beat Jim, which has no 47 connection. 49ers hosted Super Bowl 50, and Joe Montana, the beginning of the month, even put out a prediction that it would be Niners and Chiefs. Funny stuff. And he did that on 2/1, 49ers 21. And again, what can the Chiefs become in Super Bowl if they win? They get their second win on 2-2. 49ers could get their second loss. Not saying it's going to happen. Got to do more research, but again, it's all there. And you know what else? I just picked up on something else thanks to a follower I got to share with you. I talked about the Kansas City bar shooting this morning. Remember on October 6th, You had the shooting at the Tequila KC bar, a span of 120 days from the Super Bowl, and Tequila KC bar equals 120. If you didn't count the span, it was 119 days, and then you get another shooting on the conference championship in Kansas City at a bar, January 19th. Well, check this out. Check this out. Oh, by the way, that first shooting was October 6th, 106. Tennessee equals 106, who the Chiefs beat. And again, they said 5 wounded, 4 dead. Super Bowl 54. They were telling you. We talked about this then. But look at this. Look at this, man. Hold on. Where's it at? Okay. So the shooting that just happened in Kansas City yesterday, the day they advanced to the Super Bowl, they had another shooting at a bar, in case you missed that. The bar is owned by Alfonso Hodge, who's a former Kansas City Chief. Larry Johnson might even know this guy. His birthday is May 30th, which is the 150th day of the year. Super Bowl LIV is 150, right? And the bar is called the 9 Ultra Lounge. Think about how the Chiefs are playing the Niners. And if the Chiefs did win the Super Bowl, they would win their 9th straight game of the season. Again, I got to do some more research, but this is how, I mean, you can see how it all comes to be. How can they stage a shooting synced up with a sports game? And like I've been saying all this time, it's because they're all a bunch of Masons. But in this case, again, for people who think that's just like some dumb statement, they're all a bunch of Masons. Again, look at your nation's history. The nation was founded by Masons. The capital city is known as the Masonic City, named after George Washington, the Scottish Rite Freemason. It was laid out by the Mason L'Enfant from France. Masons. They have the house of the temple there with 33 pillars on the outside. You learn Gematria, Masonry, secrecy, order, federal. They all sum to 33. Washington, D.C. equals 137, the 33rd prime. Masonry controls government, media, sports. You know, how many of these athletes, active and former, have been indoctrinated into Masonry? I imagine a lot have. And maybe not Larry, but Larry still, he was definitely associated with one, at least. Jay-Z, I mean, he was working under Jay-Z, a Mason, so Jay-Z does everything by the code. Anyhow, I saw this, I was like, man, they put out the information that the bar's owned by a former chief. I mean, could it be any more in your face? Could it be any more in your face? And again, this is what we got to go out and pound the pavement about. Oh, by the way, his name Alfonso Hodge, look at what it equals, 50. Like it's the 50th Super Bowl of the modern era. Like Shakira's got the 50, San Francisco's got the 50, Chiefs got the 50. Yeah. And again, you know, I'm going to be in LSU New Orleans, planning to set up the table with the sign, you know, maybe figure out some giveaways, have some t-shirts to pass out, something, just things to get people intrigued and willing to participate in this information. And again, the knowledge that needs to be dropped is, again, exactly what they're doing. You know, I envision at the table, I'll have my laptop, people who engage, I'll play the clip for them from the college championship, the announcer giving a numerology lesson in his own words on the death of Billy Cannon, just so sick. But the piece he leaves out is what I'll expand on with the students, you know. Or I'll probably drop the knowledge and then show them the clip. But again, this Billy Cannon, he died May 20th, 2018, the same day that Joe Burrow joined LSU. And again, this is a big deal because Billy Cannon played for LSU like Joe Burrow. He won the Heisman like Joe Burrow. And he beat Clemson in the championship in the same city, New Orleans, like Joe Burrow. And he did it in 59, and Billy Cannon's 59 like Freemasonry, like LSU Tigers. So, you know, this knowledge will go a lot further with some star power. Larry Johnson's talking about blood sacrifices. Billy Cannon died 86 weeks before Joe Burrow won the championships. Blood sacrifice 86. And again, just playing that numerology lesson that the announcer does about 20, how he wore the number 20 and he died on the 20th, and everything else he says is just, it's 2020. It's just, man. I'm envisioning that I'm going to have a very high success rate in New Orleans and Louisiana with these examples of getting people to open their eyes. And I already know I can do this because for it wasn't several months, it was 3 months that I was driving for Uber and Lyft. I shared this information with a lot of people while taking them to sports games. And I mean a lot, like hundreds of people. And only had 2 people that got upset. And both of them were males, and they truly were both dickheads. And one of them even looked just like a dickhead. You know, he had like all the way shaved. And anyway, he slammed my door so hard when he got out of the car. It was hilarious. Anyway, it was a low percent. It was like a fraction of a percentage point of people who didn't get along. So, and these examples, I'm telling you, this Billy Cannon thing, this might be the best. There's so many great examples, but this truly might be the best one ever. And then, of course, there's other things you can point to, too. I'm envisioning going down there, and I'll change my shirts throughout the day. I'll have a shirt with Nancy Parker. I'll have a shirt with Carly McCord, Billy Cannon, 5th Ward Weeby, the 54th governor, and all the other people I'm forgetting right now. But there's just so many people who died that were perfectly synced up with this championship. Again, Nancy Parker, the news anchor in New Orleans, dies in a plane crash. Nancy Parker, 54. New Orleans, 54. Just at the start of football season, the college championship was in New Orleans on a 54 date. One more time, she died 150 days before the college championship to conclude the 150th college football season. And then 2 days after her death, you get the death of the 54th governor of Louisiana. 2 days later. She died on a date with 38 numerology. Louisiana equals 38. Death 38. We know all about it. And again, there's just so much to show about this. Again, LSU Tigers 113. They win it on January 13th. Of course, we can talk about the deaths with Clemson, too. Clemson had their deaths. Tyshawn Dye, C.J. Fuller last year. I mean, the same stuff goes on every year. So that's the beauty of knowing this knowledge so well. Like if I present this to a student, they're like, well, what is this? The first time this ever happened? Do you have any other track record of this? It'll be like, oh, you don't want to open up that can of worms. Grab a chair. We're going to be here for the next 8 hours. We're going to be here for the next 8 weeks, more like it, because we got example after example. So, and then again, 5th Ward Weeby, dead at age 42. 42 days from his birthday before the Tigers win the championship with 42 points over the Clemson Tigers. And again, his name Weeby 113, like LSU Tigers. And man, it's just, it's just so sick. So I want to go walk around the 5th Ward with a 5th Ward Weeby t-shirt. Maybe I'll put a big 42 on the back. You know what? I'm going to be down there on Jackie Robinson's birthday. I might even have to set up a Jackie Robinson display. Let's talk about what happened on Jackie Robinson's birthday 3 years ago. 3 dead black celebrities, all with 42 names. One of them dead 42 days after their own birthday on Jackie's birthday. Jackie Robinson, who wore 42, Jackie 42, and you know the rest. So, anyhow, if you guys can blast Larry Johnson and be friendly, just say, like it a bunch, retweet it, the one I already sent. I see I got 1 retweet and 1 like. But I wish there was a few more. So anyway, or just send your own message. I mean, if Larry Johnson gets overwhelmed, and if you guys can hashtag Zachary K. Hubbard or Gematria Effect News, just so he gets the idea, I'm not sure how many people reached out to him and asked him to communicate. I've reached out to him a bunch, and to no avail so far, but I don't know. He did do Sam Tripoli's tinfoil hat show. I did tinfoil hat last April. That was a great episode. So if he can do Sam Tripoli, I don't see why he can't collaborate with me. But then again, Sam Tripoli is kind of more like a, I don't mean to insult him, but he's kind of like a B-list celebrity. He's got some celebrity connections, you know, Joe Rogan and stuff. And they had him on for like a WB series conspiracy thing. But as grateful as I am for Sam Tripoli, I got to admit, I know my shit about 100 times better than Sam Tripoli. So it's like, okay, he might have more star power, but I got more knowledge power. I got more ammo to target this cabal, which Larry Johnson seems to be targeting. Again, I don't take people like, we already know the masses don't take people like Zachary K. Hubbard seriously. Will they take Larry Johnson seriously? Could all mean, again, we're nearly to the 2,000. If another dollar didn't come in, I think I can get it all done here. But again, the more, the better. And like I said, if there's anything left over, I'll give you guys all my receipts. I'll show you what the total trip costed at the end. So whatever's raised. And also on Cash App, I've gotten about $100 in not quite. I think it's more like 80. I guess $80 in donations on Cash App. So I mean, if that was here, it would be up to $17.22. But anyway, I think the amount that's come in, I should be able to get it done. But again, if more comes in, it'll go in the battle chest. And I want to do several of these this year. Go into a location. And I'll find out doing this one if a week's the right amount of time. Maybe it doesn't even need to quite be a week. Maybe a week will be overkill, but I know I'll be able to do a lot in a week. Travel around, go to different sites, mingle with different people. So, anyway. Thank you again, you guys. I'm super excited about this. And I got one of those Twitter notifications from a Larry Johnson tweet, and I was like, that is the guy who I need to bring with me. If I could get Larry Johnson to come support, that would be interesting to witness. So that's all I got to say for now, Truth Seeker. I see Simple Truth TV's not buying into Larry, but man, we need Larry to be on our side, Simple. We need him. We need him, man. All right, you guys. Have a good night. Till next time.